We are finally here, the granddaddy of them all, WrestleMania Night 1. How did they do? Hello and welcome to FTTR, I am Hugh McQuaid, and today we are talking about WrestleMania Night 1, WrestleMania 39. The first night is done, it is in the past, and we will dive into everything that happened on this night's edition of WrestleMania. But before we dive into that, please hit subscribe, please like this video, please comment your thoughts down in the comments below, and I'll try and reply to every single one of them. Whew, okay, this night of WrestleMania was a bit of a roller coaster. It had some ups, it had some downs, it was not perfect in the least, but I did have fun for the duration of the show. I thought it was a really strong show, particularly the last two matches, which were chef's kiss, near perfect. And yeah, I just thought it was a bit uneven, but fun. That's the best we can say about this WrestleMania, but we'll dive into all that as we go through the play-by-play of what happened on the show, where I tell you everything that happened, every match, every angle, everything a review should tell you. Starting off with the opening, which was Becky G. I don't know who Becky G is. I don't know if she's, any good. I don't know a Becky G song, but she sang America the Beautiful. And then Kevin Hart, of all people, well, I suppose it was in Hollywood, and they couldn't afford Dwayne, so they got Kevin Hart instead. Kevin Hart did the opening video package, which was fun. It was a fun, interesting perspective on the WrestleMania matches that we've got. And following that, we had The Miz and Snoop Dogg, our two hosts, doing bad comedy. Didn't enjoy The Miz and Snoop Dogg, which we will get to later in the show. But we started off with our opening match, which was Austin Theory taking on John Cena for the United States Championship. This may be an unpopular opinion, but I was incredibly disappointed with this match. I thought this would at least tell some semblance of a story, but no, essentially this was Austin Theory playing the heel, Cena playing the good guy on a basic edition of Raw match, which ended with a schmoz Raw finish. I wasn't too keen on this, and it wasn't opener of WrestleMania worthy. Like, there were a few sort of interesting spots, but when I say that, and looking back on the spots that I've got written down, it wasn't that riveting. Theory essentially just sort of worked over Cena, hit his rolling drop kick, that got counted into an STF. Cena hit his 5 moves of doom, went for the AA, knocked back into a ref. The ref took a big old bump. Visual win for Cena because he locks Theory in the STF and Theory taps. As he's doing that, low blow from Theory, 8-down and down, Theory wins. That is essentially the match I've just ran down there, and it is as cookie cutter a match as could possibly be. So yeah, I was a bit underwhelmed by this. I thought this could maybe not have been, obviously, John Cena, AJ Styles level of work rate, but I thought there could have been something a bit more than this, and I wasn't into this at all, to be honest, and it did set the tone a bit off for me here at the beginning. Next match, though, stepped it up a level with Braun Strowman and Ricochet taking on the Viking Raiders, taking on the Street Profits, taking on Alpha Academy in what was a fun multi-man match where everyone just got their spots in. The highlight of this match for me was Chad Gable, who after Mania needs to turn face. I think he's already semi-turning face, but he needs to fully turn face and be a big babyface in the United States title scene. I think he'd be really good for that division. But yeah, him hitting a rolling German suplex on Braun Strowman was amazing and got a really big pop out of the crowd. Ricochet hitting an insane shooting star to the outside, all that good stuff. Braun running around the ring and nailing everyone with his big "I'm Braun and I hit people like a train" kind of thing. Was all fun. It was all fun and games. I think the people who didn't come out of this looking too great with the Viking Raiders, I feel like they didn't get enough time to shine in this because it was quite a condensed match. They got everything in very, very quickly. And yeah, Street Profits picked up the win here with a huge, so I believe it was on Gable. They caught him. He had why am I blanking on his? Angelo Dawkins. Angelo Dawkins had him on his knees after he just missed a splash, and then Montez Ford hit a frog splash onto the knees, onto Gable for the 1, 2, 3. Fun match. We'll see what this does for the Street Profits, considering I thought they were teasing a split at some point. Maybe they've just canned that entirely. But we'll see where that goes from here. Challenges for Zayn and Owens maybe on the night after Mania. That'd be an interesting exhibition match. So, yeah, we'll see where that goes. It was a fun encounter there. Next up, we've got the match that I thought was going to be match of the night, and that was Seth Rollins taking on Logan Paul. While this wasn't to the level of Logan Paul versus Roman, which I think is a genuinely fantastic match, this was fun. It's fun to see Logan Paul play the bad guy because he just suits that a lot better. And they did some pretty weird, crazy stuff in this. So Logan Paul comes out on a zipline, Shawn Michaels-esque, and then someone comes down dressed as a bottle of Prime, the blue raspberry Prime to be precise. And you were waiting for someone to pop out of that. I thought it was going to be Miz. I was completely wrong. But they had really fun, interesting, good chemistry in this match. Thought they hit nice, good offense. And Paul's right hand that he does with the titanium plating, which is a silly thing, but I think it just looks really good when he does it. And Seth's selling of that was fantastic. But it all built to inevitably the big blue bottle of Prime interfering in the match, grabs Seth's leg, and it turns out to be none other than KSI. KSI, who is a influencer slash rapper slash boxer slash owner of Prime. I don't know too much about KSI, to be honest. I'm not hip in the slightest. But yeah, he was in the big blue bottle of Prime. And then they've got Seth Rollins on the announce table. Logan Paul's going to do a big splash through the table, but Rollins pulls in KSI, and Logan Paul hits the big dive through the announce table. And yeah, that takes out KSI dressed as a big blue bottle of Prime. Okay. And then they roll back into the ring, hit a few moves, but I believe it's Seth. Yeah. So he goes up for the coast to coast as Logan Paul. He did it at the Royal Rumble. Goes for it. Super kick from Seth into a curb stomp, and Seth wins. I thought Logan Paul was going to win. I thought this would be elongated out to the next Saudi Arabia show, but no. Big clean win for Seth Rollins. Hopefully he can move on to some world title stuff, hopefully, depending on what happens tomorrow. Yeah. So we'll see where it goes from there. Logan Paul, he doesn't need to be built up. He doesn't need this win. So it's good that Seth picked up the win. And yeah, excited to see where Seth goes going forward in a fun but not blow-away match. Another match that I wasn't particularly into was Becky Lynch and Lita and Trish Stratus taking on Damage Control. This, for me, again, just sort of felt like a Raw main event. It didn't feel like it had that that pace behind it. It picked up a bit towards the end where everyone was hitting big move after big move after big move. But it was more of a case of someone will get worked over, hot tag. Someone will get worked over, hot tag. Trish had an amazing hot tag. She was so good in this match. Trish versus Becky, if that's the route we're going, I'm down for that because Trish looked amazing in this match. Lita, not incredibly. She didn't look great in this. That moonsault always scares me, and I think it always will as long as she continues to do it. But yeah, I think it was just good. It was just good. Io did a big moonsault to the outside. There's nothing stand out from this that I'll remember, to be honest, other than the continued down trajectory of Damage Control, because Becky picked up the win with a big manhandle slam on Bayley from the second rope, which again looked good, but it wasn't blow away. I was expecting a turn. I was expecting either Lita to turn or maybe Trish to turn, but we didn't get any of that. There was no angle or anything. It was just an exhibition match, which is fine, but it wasn't, again, blow away and didn't hook me entirely for the duration. Now we can talk about something that did hook me for the duration, possibly the best match of the night. Fight me, Rey Mysterio versus Dominic Mysterio in a father versus son grudge match. This was the type of soap opera drama nonsense that we all say we hate. We don't watch soaps, they're cringy. But this, with the video package before, which was amazing, Dominic's entrance coming out with the Rey Mysterio mask from the police van was incredible. Rey Mysterio coming out with Eddie Guerrero's music with Snoop Dogg for some reason in a lowrider was perfect. It was all perfect. And then the match itself was really fun. I love Dominic Mysterio being a dick on the outside. Him throwing water in his sister's face was better than MJF throwing water on that kid. It was the way she sold it was great. The way he sold it was great. And him just getting in the face of his family. It's just such good melodrama. It's really well done stuff. And him as a heel is so detestable and so unlikable that it doesn't really matter how it is in the ring, because the in-ring action was fine. There was nothing extremely memorable about it, but his presence and Dominic's posture and the way he carries himself and the way he works the match is second to none. He's a great heel, really great heel. Pairing him up with Rey Mysterio, who's a great underdog babyface, particularly when the Judgment Day come out, Finn Balor and Damian Priest, and they start getting involved. And just to be chased down by Legado del Fantasma. But Damian Priest, the crafty bastard, has left his jacket on the apron. And Dominic Mysterio gets the jacket, pulls out a chain. It looks like he's going to hit Rey for the win. But who should interfere but Bad Bunny? Bad Bunny, who was on commentary. You know, the musician who takes the chain off Dominic Mysterio. And Rey hits 619, hits Splash, and wins. Celebrates in the ring with his family. The only iffy bit of this was the finish. It should have been Aaliyah jumping the barricade and taking the chain. I think that would have made so much more sense considering what happened previously in the match. Bad Bunny, who, unless I've missed anything, has got nothing to do with the Rey Mysterio, Dominic Mysterio storyline, so it's felt a bit weird for him to get involved and slot himself in. I'd just change it to Aaliyah after he's thrown the drink on her, after he's disrespected her mother, their mother, then it just makes complete sense to me. I don't know why they didn't do that, why they had Bad Bunny. I'm assuming we're getting some variation of Judgment Day versus Bad Bunny at Backlash, because it's in Puerto Rico and he's going to be the host. But yeah, the finish was a little bit off for me, a little bit off. Didn't hit the mark, but the match itself, it was one of the highlights of the night for me and really got me back on board because I really enjoyed all the family drama nonsense stuff in this. It was really fun, let's put it that way. Next match was Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair for the SmackDown Women's Championship, which was not the main event. A lot of people thought it might be the main event, but it was not. But they went out there and wrestled a main event caliber match because the crowd, I think, were just, you know, apathetic to this, which I think is comes from the build, because the build's been dog arse for the majority of this feud, as shown by the video package, which was one of the shortest video packages that the entire show had. But they worked so hard and hit each other so hard and were so brutal that they managed to turn the crowd around, managed to turn me around with all that sort of negative energy towards this feud and put on a legit match of the year contender. I don't think anyone went into this thinking it would be as good as it was, particularly following the previous Mania match with Ronda versus Charlotte, which was a huge letdown. This was enjoyable, reckless carnage. And yeah, they went out there and knocked the piss out of each other. The German suplex from Rhea Ripley to Charlotte Flair, where Charlotte Flair's face just crumples into the canvas, is going to probably live on forever in GIF form and in video package form, because it was brutal. It was brutal. The German suplex from the second rope from Rhea, also brutal. And then it just escalated into huge clubbing strikes, huge boots from Charlotte, which were just taking, you know, chunks out of Rhea Ripley's face. Looked like she was hitting her that hard. And it just escalated and escalated from there. Charlotte Flair was working over the legs so she could hook in the figure eight eventually. And Rhea Ripley was always working sort of the body and hitting big slams so she can line up that riptide. She kept going for the riptide, couldn't hit it, kept getting countered. And then there was a great near fall when she eventually hit it, hit the riptide, 1, 2, very close kick out from Charlotte Flair. Someone who is underrated in terms of kickouts, because that is a thing of beauty to master, which we'll get to in the main event. But yeah, the finish of this match was, by God, just great, just really great. Rhea Ripley outsmarted Charlotte Flair. They're both, you know, battling with each other on the turnbuckle. And Rhea Ripley just grabs Charlotte's hair, yanks her down, and smashes her face into the post, the ring post. And Charlotte's selling of it was top notch because she just went like dead weight, dead limp. She's been knocked out. And then Rhea Ripley gets her on the second rope, riptide from the second rope. 1, 2, 3. Rhea Ripley is the new SmackDown Women's Champion. The right call because the crowd were 100% behind her. And yeah, this was a legit phenomenal match and turned everyone around. I think everyone who was going into this not hyped for it because of the build being lackluster, that was just gone because this was an incredible match. I don't know if it is my match of the night. This and the main event can interchange for match of the night, but I really, really love this. The only nitpick for this is Charlotte. At the end, you've had your head smashed in. You've hit a riptide from the top. Don't sit on the outside smiling and clapping. Sell it a little bit more. But that's a little asterisk there. Little pet peeve. Love this match. Go check this one out if you haven't. Then we got filler. We got The Miz and Snoop Dogg in the ring again, joking about this open challenge and like, oh, Miz has issued an open challenge. Who's it going to be? And it's Pat McAfee. And at this point, I just didn't care. I didn't really care about Pat McAfee because this is going 3 minutes at most. So Pat McAfee comes down, says he'll face Miz in this open challenge. Snoop Dogg says, I can make a match because I'm the host of WrestleMania. And then a match is started between Pat McAfee and The Miz, and then an American football player who I think he's a football player. I don't know who he is. I think he played for the San Francisco somethings. He gets in, helps Pat McAfee. Pat McAfee does some silly dives. He hits a punt kick on The Miz. 1, 2, 3. What was the point of any of this other than to have Pat McAfee on the show? I didn't care. This was a waste of time. Just keep moving at a brisk pace. The show is 4 hours long. Brisk pace. This was not necessary in the slightest. What was very necessary, though, was the video package for Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens versus the Usos, because it told the entire story, pretty much. It was probably the longest video package on the show, recapping everything from Sami joining the Bloodline, to War Games, to the Royal Rumble, to trying to enlist Kevin Owens. It told everything. Masterful video package, which led to the match. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus the Usos for the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championships. It is the main event. Sami Zayn is main eventing WrestleMania for the tag straps. This was great. It was great. We all knew it was going to be great. I think we all accepted that this match was going to blow us away. And it did. It did. The character work, the near falls, everything was perfect in this. There was a lot of building to Kevin Owens' hot tags. Sami Zayn was being worked over by the Usos a lot. But it was the near falls that made it. The near fall off the 3D. The 1D. The 1D. The one and done. Was, beautiful. Was fantastic. It was a really good near fall from Sami. The resiliency of both guys, showing how much they want to end the bloodline, was just so well told. And everything about that, because it was clear that the Usos had the upper hand. They had the better chemistry, but their emotions were getting the better of them. Jay's emotion was getting the better of him as he was staring down Sami Zayn, particularly when Zayn was in the corner and he was just laying on super kicks trying to get this done. And that was what was ultimately their downfall. They put Kevin Owens through the announce table at one point and they still couldn't put Sami Zayn away. And it just, everything from there just kept going. Helluva kick from Jay to Sami, just to rub more salt in the wound. And it just, everything about it was so well told as a final chapter of this Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, Usos saga, leading to the finish. And the finish was Sami Zayn looking Jay in the eye in the corner, hitting a Helluva kick. Jay falls onto him. Sami Zayn whispers something to him, picks him back up, Helluva kick again, falls on him again, puts him back in the corner. Slight smirk on Sami's face as he runs and hits that third Helluva kick as Kevin Owens grabs Jimmy, who was trying to make an interference, hits him with a stunner. He rolls out of the ring. for the 1, 2, 3. A great cathartic moment in this story, and a fantastic way to end the night with Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens being crowned undisputed WWE Tag Team Champions. It was not a dry eye in the house. It is one of the best stories that has been told in professional wrestling, and I think this was a perfect way to cap it off and to cap off the night. It was just brilliant. Brilliant is the only way I can describe it. These last 2 matches, the Women's Championship match and the Tag Team Championship match, you should go out of your way to see, because it was honestly phenomenal. A phenomenal 1.5 hours maybe of professional wrestling. Truly flawless stuff. I loved both of them. But the show as a whole, I'm a bit torn on, a bit uneven. So I'm going to give it a solid 3 out of 5 because I didn't get on with the opening match. I didn't get on with the 6-woman tag match particularly. I thought the Seth Rollins Logan Paul match was good. I thought the tag match was good. But the main event, Dominic, Mysterio, and the Women's Championship match all delivered for me. So that's why 3 out of 5 from me. I'm hoping tomorrow night. Yeah, tomorrow night, I'm hoping that exceeds my expectations. You've got Roman Cody, you've got Gunther, Sheamus, McIntyre, you've got Bianca Asuka, you've got Brock versus Amos. So surely that should be a great night of action. But yeah, 3 out of 5 from me. But I want to know what you guys think. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, and I'll try to reply to every single one of them. Thank you all ever so much for your support, and have a nice day.